Charlotte, North Carolina are investigating a horrific random murder that took place on the city's light rail system last month. The victim, this woman you're looking at, a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee who came to the U.S. following the Russian invasion of her country. News Nation's Alicia Nieves is here. Alicia, I saw the video. This is heartbreaking. Walk us through what happened.
Such heartbreaking, concerning for a lot of people, not only those in South Carolina, but if you're a mass transit person, which millions are, this is concerning. Police are saying this is actually a random attack. The killing took place August 22nd in Charlotte's upscale South End neighborhood. Surveillance video you were talking about that was released by Charlotte Area Transit shows the 23-year-old Irina Zarutska boarding a light rail Lynx car and then sitting down in front of a man now identified as 34-year-old DeCarlo Brown Jr. After nearly 5 minutes, Brown pulls out a folding knife. He seems to be playing with it or moving it back and forth and then attacks her. Police say that Brown stabbed Zarutska 3 times, including a fatal blow to the neck before walking the length of the train and exiting. Now, transit police arrived within minutes of the attack, but she was dead and pronounced as much. Brown was arrested in charge.
Call them in this bitch, deep as hell. If you ever see a train like this, go to the next one on my baby. On my baby. Do not hop on this train. You see a train this deep, go to the next one on my baby. I'm dead in. Call them in this bitch, deep as hell.
In DC, nigga, this is Chicago, nigga. Them niggas go fight back. I'm telling you, them niggas go fight back, gang. Whatever, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Them young niggas got switches, gang. They not going for that shit, bro. I know a bunch of y'all finna say, oh, it's the National Guard. They can't do anything about it. They must go in Chicago. Nigga, do y'all know that it's more bad people than good people, bro? There are over 100,000 gangs in Chicago by the city. We are a different fucking breed.
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country. And that includes Baltimore. I saw where Governor Moore was asking me to take a walk down the street of Baltimore. Well, Baltimore is a very unsafe place. It's rated number 4 in the city, one of the most unsafe places anywhere in the world. I'm very proud of Washington. It serves as a template, and we're going to do it elsewhere. But Chicago is certainly going to be high. I would love to have him call. I would love the governor of Illinois. I'd be honored to take his call. All he has to do is say, sir, we need help. It's out of control. And everyone knows it is. He's not kidding anyone. I would love to have... I would say Governor Moore call, because I watched him over the weekend trying to explain that Baltimore, what they need is housing. No, they don't need housing. They need to get rid of the criminals.
Your mind up on Chicago, though?
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, which is who the world ignorantly calls God, Bahashem, meaning in the name, Yahweh Shai, meaning He is our salvation. And that is who the world also ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man, who, by the way, only came for the Israelites, which brings us to our discussion / topic this morning, okay? Now, what you saw before you was a collection of videos to convey a message to you, the viewer, all right? That what? Esau, the so-called white man, is getting ready to roll on you under the guidelines of safety and crime prevention, okay? Now, the very first video that you saw was a clip of an incident that took place last month in August, the last part of it, where a seemingly innocent woman just getting off of work, as they said, a Ukraine refugee, in an affluent or upscale neighborhood in North Carolina, sat on the bus seat, unbeknown to her, that would be her last ride that she would ever take here on earth. Because why? As we see behind her, a so-called black man with dreads in his hair pulled out a pocket-sized knife and jabbed it into her neck 3 times, setting the stage for what? These affluent neighborhoods, these upscale neighborhoods, and not just neighborhoods, but businesses in general don't want Jake, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans around them. Because why? They fear for their safety. So that's going to be another reason that Trump is going to deploy National Guards throughout the country, all right? Primarily to protect these quote-unquote good old white folks, you know, these law-abiding citizens. And truth be told, they don't want you in their neighborhood, even if you are black and you got a nice paying job or you got a career. They don't want you in their neighborhoods anyway, okay? So when shit pops off, you gonna really get to see they true colors, man, all right? Because the stage is being set. And then the second video, we have a bunch of YNs, you know, on a subway in Chicago, you know, hotboxing, all right? Showing you that where's the presence of the police to get things under order. This is why Trump is, quote unquote, deploying the National Guard to restore order, all right? And then the third video, which was of Trump, is saying that what? He's not declaring war. He's what? Taking back the country and making it more safe, okay? So this is Deuteronomy 28 and 28. It says, Yahweh shall smite thee with madness. This is part of the curses of the Israelites. This is how you'll know who they are. And blindness and astonishment of heart. And this is what you see in these little YNs, man, which is an acronym for young ninja. Or you know the word nigga, all right? So this is a new byword and proverb that our people have taken on within the last few years or so, all right? And now it's become an epidemic to the point where now Trump is going to have to send in the National Guard, or that's going to be the storyline to restore order. But we know never let a good crisis go to waste. So once the National Guards come in, they're going to be a more tolerable presence to the point where they're just going to be seen, you know, sticking around to make sure everything is complete in order. Okay? And like I said before, you black people, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans who think just because you live in these affluent neighborhoods and these upscale neighborhoods and you well off to do, that you ain't going to be harassed or stopped or whatever, think again, okay? Think again. We're getting ready to go into a new phase of this new world order being brought to the forefront. It says, verse 29, and thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. So we're in this condition for our disobedience to the Most High, all right? And he's getting ready to send this cruel nation to what? Come down with great wrath, man, all right? Revelation 12 and 12. He knoweth, but he hath but a short time. Okay? Matter of fact, let's jump over there and get that. Because under this new crime prevention, this need to restore order, he's getting ready to come down with great wrath, okay? And just because you got a nice paying job and you believe you a law-abiding citizen, that ain't going to protect you from judgment, okay? You got to remember, this is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai's sword, all right? Esau, Edom. So it don't matter if you're doing right, if you ain't doing right by the Lord, okay? You are subject to being what? Judge. So this is Revelation 12 and 12. It reads, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you. Why? Having great wrath. See, it ain't gonna matter whether or not you are abiding by the law. if you are Israelite, guess what? And you ain't repented, the Lord gonna use this devil to come down on you with great wrath. All right? It don't matter if you got a 6-figure job. All right? This devil don't care, man. You got to remember, Esau and Jacob has had let me say that again. Esau has had a perpetual hatred towards Jacob since the beginning. All right? So it don't matter what you do. Okay? If you, Jacob, an Israelite, Esau has a perpetual hatred towards you. Okay? And the feeling is mutual, man. See, but this ain't our kingdom, though. See? So Yahweh's about to allow this man to cut loose, man. And just because you got a good paying job and whatever else you think that you're a citizen of this country, don't exempt you from these judgments that Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah is getting ready to let loose, okay? It says, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. See? This devil knows his kingdom is almost up, man. So before his kingdom is up, he's going to try to take down as many Israelites as possible, man. All right. And if you don't have that hedge around you, guess what? Good luck. That's why it reads this. And the dragon, who is the dragon? All right. The Edomites. All right. And the dragon was wroth with the woman. Who is the woman? Israel. And went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony, which is the spirit of prophecy of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Revelation 19:10. So he's really coming after you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, but particularly those that are in the know, all right? He really wants those of us that know we're Israelites, all right? But guess what? He's going to be satisfied with taking out those that don't know, all right? Or those that haven't repented, because those are the only ones that the Lord are going to allow him to touch, all right? Those that are repenting and doing what the Lord has commanded us to do, we're going to have that hedge of protection around us, all right? When this devil get ready to roll, see? We ain't going to be fearful, all right? If he shows up in our neighborhood, in our towns, in our city, in our state, all right? Because why? What do we have to be worried about? As long as we're doing what the Lord tell us, see? But see, those of our people that turn their nose up against this truth, that scoff, that mocked it, and think that they were just going to be able to get by just because they were, you know, a good law-abiding citizen, they're going to have a rude awakening, man, okay? A rude awakening is getting ready to come to shake up Israel, man, all right? So let's head back over to Deuteronomy 28, and let's go over that last verse. I believe it was 29. It says, and thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blindness gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. See, this is part of the curses. See, so the only person that's going to deliver us out of this condition that we are in is Yahweh Shai, when Yahweh sends him. Other than that, we ain't going to prosper, man. No matter how well off you think you are, this devil still is going to look at you less than what you think you are, all right? Whether you a YN or whether you a businessman, okay? Guess what? This devil is coming after you if you are Israelite, all right? And if you don't got that hedge around you, good luck trying to justify yourself in the midst of this devil when all hell breaks loose and he enacts martial law, all right? This is Deuteronomy 29 and 37. It says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whether Yahweh shall lead thee, right? And this is what they're looking at you. They don't look at you as a successful businessman first. They look at you as being what? A so-called black man, a so-called nigger, a so-called Negro, a so-called Spic, a so-called Hispanic, a so-called Latino, Latina, a so-called Native American. They don't look at you as a businessman or entrepreneur first. They look at you as that byword and proverb, okay? And they're going to lump all you together with being a YN, all right, or having YN tendencies. They don't know the difference because you got a suit and tie on, all right? or because you got a hoodie on, you look like a damn YN, you must be a YN, all right? You got your hair cut, hey, all that, man, trust and believe, all that's going to be thrown out the window, man. All right, they're not going to want you in their neighborhoods or in their stores or their businesses, and they're going to have, you know, reinforcement, these National Guards, so on and so forth, because they ain't coming into the hoods, man. They staying in the upscale, the affluent, what's the word I'm trying to say? Affluent neighborhoods. They ain't worrying about them damn projects and shit like that. They good with us taking our own selves out, man. And then you had the other video of Jake saying, hey, Trump don't want it with the YNs. Okay, we got 100,000 gang members here in Chicago and we all got switches, man. Well, good. Long as y'all don't bring y'all asses up into these affluent neighborhoods and businesses and upscale neighborhoods, they good, man. They prefer you to stay out there and you know, off your own people, okay? See, then you got Jake. You got some Jake that want the National Guards to come so that they can what? Restore order. But they ain't coming to the neighborhoods. They ain't coming to the projects, man. They ain't worried about that. They worried about where these so-called white people have to, you know, commute, okay? They worried about where these so-called white people have to shop at, where you so-called blacks show up and you just bring down the value of the neighborhood. You bring down the value of the stores. This where they don't want your ass at, man. Long as you stay your ass off there in the projects, in the neighborhoods, in the hoods, they good, man. You could keep your 100,000 gang member switches, man. You ain't gonna see the National Guards for the most part going into these neighborhoods like that to restore order. They just here to keep y'all asses up out of these affluent neighborhoods and upscale neighborhoods, man, where a crime like that in the first video wouldn't take place. Okay? And to keep these good white folks from not having to worry about taking a bus and being filled with damn smoke from weed, man. You see, because obviously the damn police can't do anything with y'all ass. So what Trump gonna do? He gonna bring in the National Guards, man, to keep y'all ass from out of these affluent, upscale neighborhoods and businesses. He don't care about what you do in your own neighborhood. Just stay your ass from up out of these good white folks' businesses, man, and neighborhoods. Don't ride their trains. Don't shop in their stores. Sort that shit out amongst yourselves, man. All right? He could care less, man. You think Trump actually care about you, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans? Hell no, man. All right? He don't want y'all coming and bringing y'all filth into these damn nice white folks' neighborhoods, man, and businesses, and transportation, where this so-called white woman, Ukrainian refuge, had to worry about losing her life. You see? So he gonna deploy them National Guards, man. And he said he don't know when, but hey, it's the element of surprise, man. Okay? And Jake gonna be taken by surprises. Jake doesn't understand, them YNs don't understand military strategies or tactics, okay? The element of surprise. Trump ain't gonna tell you he getting ready to deploy them September the 15th, 2025. They just gonna show up, man. Okay? Just like he did that strike unannounced, okay? They just gonna show up. Probably come in 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning while you YN somewhere sleeping, and next thing you know, you're gonna try to come on the bus the next morning. You're gonna be met with a guard with a damn AK-47 hanging over his shoulder, man. See? So it says, now should become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither Yahweh shall lead thee. See? That's a stigma that we can't shake, man. All right? This is part of being an Israelite, is we under the curses until who? Yahweh Shai comes to redeem us. Okay? This is Psalms 55 and 21. It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. So he's promising all type of reassurance that he's coming not to make war, but to what? Bring, to restore order. He's not coming to make war. Instead, he's coming to restore order. It says, but war was in his heart. But under that auspice of coming to restore order, war is in his heart. He wants one of y'all YNs to get out of order, man, so he can have justifiable use of deadly force against your ass, man. Okay? He wants one of you YNs to use them switches, man. He's scratching, he's begging for a chance, man. And one of you dumbass YNs is gonna fulfill that demand and use that switch, man. All right? Because Jake don't got no goddamn sense, man. Especially being raised by his goddamn mom, emotional as that is. Hey, Jake gonna fall for the bait, man. And we gonna have open war. That's right what Esau wants your ass, man, so he can mow you down in the streets, man. As it says, they dead bodies shall lie in the streets of that city, that great city, Babylon. Revelation 11. And 8. Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of that great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. What is that great city? Here in America, man. All right? This damn devil getting ready to put y'all asses down, man. And ultimately it's Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai that's allowing him to do so, because why? You didn't have a fear of the Lord to turn back from your wicked ways and to be remorseful and repent. So guess what? As that song goes, bodies hit the flow. A lot of you damn Jakes finna start hitting the flow, man. All right? Soon, okay? So back to Psalms 55 and 21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. This is all he meditate on, man, day and night. All right, he's itching, okay? He can't wait to get ready to open up on you Jakes, man. It says, his words were salted in oil. I'm not here to make war. We're not here for war. We're here to restore order. We're here to get crime under control. If Chicago mayor wants to call and talk about it, we can talk about it, but I am going to send the National Guards in. See? This devil's getting ready to come with that great wrath, man. War was in his heart, his mind. It says, his words were sulfur than oil, yet were they drawn swords, man. Hey, sucking airs of 16 and 68, man. That multitude kinder of fire is getting ready to come over you, Jake. All right, but you don't want to take heed, man. So guess what? We gonna see what your 100,000 gang members, which I believe is what he meant to say, not 100,000 gangs. But we're gonna see what Chicago's 100,000 gang members with switches is gonna do when the National Guards pull up and elsewhere, because he said he want to go to Baltimore. Okay, you see. DC, he's already there. Atlanta, you know, we gonna see what y'all gonna do, man. Are y'all gonna stay tucked? Are y'all gonna stay like a dog with his tail tucked between his legs? Are y'all gonna venture out and leave and go into these affluent neighborhoods and show off and show up what you all about? All right? Don't get scared now, man. Take your ass on the train and run it through these affluent neighborhoods and smoke your weed and cause havoc and do all that shit the same way you would if the National Guards went there. Carry your switches and roll y'all however deep y'all roll, 20, 30 deep, taking over trains, you know, where these good old white people can't sit and worry about getting home without having to smell weed smoke and seeing dreadlocks and goals in their mouths and all that shit. Continue to do all that once the National Guard show up, man. All right? And refuse to take orders. Okay? We gonna see how long shit lasts at that magnitude. All right? It says, yet were they drawn swords, right? They gonna be ready to draw down on your ass, man. Okay? Play around with them if you want to, man. This ain't your everyday, typical, run-of-the-mill police, man. All right? These boys got real training behind them, man. All right? So we gonna see. Okay? This is 1 Thessalonians, and we get ready to wrap it up. Chapter 5, in verse 2, it says, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, so this is what they using, peace and safety, we restoring order, we want crime to get down, we don't want to have to worry about 5 or 8 people dying over the weekend. It says, when they shall say peace and safety, what? Then sudden destruction cometh upon them, right? Then they gonna show their true colors, all right? They gonna get into these areas, these neighborhoods, and they ain't gonna never look back, man. All right? They gonna what? Stay there to what? Keep crime down. And wait for someone to get out of line, okay? So they can really start to pop off. It says, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So, hey, we gonna see what your 100,000 gang members are gonna do when he comes for you, all right? So keep that same energy as y'all say. All right, so let's go ahead and close out 1 Peter 5 and 8. This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It reads, be sober, be vigilant. See, this is why we telling our people right now, get right with the Lord while you still got time to find him, while you still can sober up and watch these things before they come. Because once they hear, it's too late. It's gonna be too much going on for you to be sober and to have that, cognitive mindset to think, upright in that time. You're gonna be too disoriented. You're gonna be too inebriated. You're gonna be too befouled, if that's what I'm looking for. But pretty much you ain't gonna be in your right mind because you're gonna be overwhelmed by everything that's going on, and you ain't gonna have no clue or idea of what's going on or what's happening, because you're gonna believe whatever narrative that's being pushed out there, because you ain't gonna have this truth. All right? So be sober and be vigilant. This is the time to get in the right spirit for that. It says, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. He's coming, man. Like that song in Freddie, 1, 2, Freddie's coming for you. 3, 4, shut the door. Hey, this man is coming, man. All right? He's going to be what you see in your nightmares, all right? Because the Lord is going to let go on him, all right? But, hey, don't get it twisted. Hey, Jake going to get down too, man, all right? Jake going to get down too in this race war, all right? What's that, Zechariah 9 and 13? But see, the only thing that's going to separate the 2/3 from the 1/3 is that we got the Lord fighting on our side. You're going to be pretty much trying to do this on your own. Zechariah 9 and 13. When I have bent Judah for me, fill the bow with Ephraim, and raise up thy sons, O Zion, that's the Israelites, against thy sons, O Greece, which are the Edomites, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. So Jake gonna get down, man, but by and large, man, these Edomites are well equipped, man. This is their blessing, man. This sword is their blessing. You may got switches, but they got shit like you ain't never thought about, Jake. All right? So we shall see how this unfolds when it unfolds. So now we're gonna go ahead and go back and close out 1 Peter 5 and 8. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, and he's getting ready to roll, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. All right? So it don't matter if you a YN or you a BM, a businessman. If you ain't under the hedge of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, you ain't making it out of here alive, man. And it's going down here in Babylon the Great, a.k.a. the United States of America, all right? Soon. So get ready, get prepared, repent, turn back to the Lord while he still may be found, and throw yourself at him so he may have mercy on you. All right, so with that being said, pray some more of us edified through this lesson, and until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We're almost home. Shalom. Peace.